Voyagers in space. Voyagers in space. Focus question. Are the Voyager spacecraft important? Why or why not? One tough job. When the two Voyager spacecraft launched in 1977, they had a tough job ahead. Their mission was to explore Jupiter and Saturn, two of the solar system's giant outer planets. During their journey, they would face freezing temperatures and powerful radiation. If something broke, the space probes would just have to make do with what they had. Scientists designed the Voyagers to be tough. Radiation shields and computer-controlled heaters protected their instruments. The spacecraft also carried backups of important equipment, such as the thrusters used for steering. The computers were programmed to deal with problems that might happen. Computers in 1977 were very different from today's machines, though. Modern smartphones have about 7,500 times more computing power and 240,000 times more memory than those operating the Voyager spacecraft. Scientists guessed that the Voyagers would only last about 5 years in space. More than 35 years later, the thin spacecraft are still sending information back to Earth. Can you hear me now? As of 2014, Voyager 1 is about 20 billion miles away. 12 billion miles away. It communicates with Earth using a 22.4-watt transmitter that's as long as a refrigerator light bulb. Signals take about 17 hours to arrive. By that time, they've faded to about 0.2 billionths. 0.0000000000000000000002 of a watt. NASA's Deep Space Network uses 70 meter, 230 feet, dish antennas around the globe to catch the faint signal. Planning. The Voyager launches were carefully timed. In the late 1970s, the four outer planets' orbits placed them in nearly a straight line. With the planets so close together, it became possible to visit several of them during the same trip. However, the spacecraft still had to travel billions of miles. Unfortunately, the rockets that launched the Voyagers into space could only get them to Jupiter. About halfway to Saturn, scientists solved that problem by using Jupiter's strong gravity to give the spacecraft a boost as it passed by. This technique is called the gravity assist, a rare opportunity. The arrangement of planets when the Voyagers launched was an extremely rare event. To understand why, imagine a clock with hands showing the hours, minutes, and seconds. Each hand circles the clock face at a different rate, once a minute, once an hour, or once every 12 hours. Any time one hand passes another, the two line up. However, all three align much less frequently. The planet's orbits take much longer than the clock's hands' revolutions, so they line up even less frequently. The four planets arrangement during the Voyager missions occurs only once every 175 years. The main task. At first, the Voyager's mission was to study Jupiter and Saturn, their larger moons and Saturn's rings. The spacecraft carried cameras and scientific instruments, including sensors for radiation, magnetic fields, and plasma. Using these instruments, the Voyagers collected information to change how we understand our solar system. Jupiter. The Voyager's first target was Jupiter, the solar system's largest planet. Scientists had already studied Jupiter through telescopes, but the Voyager sent back new information. They showed that the Great Red Spot was a huge storm that constantly rotated counterclockwise. They discovered a faint ring surrounding Jupiter similar to those that orbit Saturn. They also found that Jupiter's moons are different from each other and from other planets' moons. For example, the moon Europa is covered by a sheet of ice that scientists think might hide an ocean. Io. Another of Jupiter's moons is covered with volcanoes that shoot gas and dust 306 kilometers, 190 miles above its surface. Before the Voyager missions, the only known active volcanoes in our solar system were on Earth. Scientists know how that Io is 10 times more volcanically active than all of Earth. Saturn. The Voyager's discoveries continued when they reached Saturn 9 months apart, in 1980 and 1991. Close-up pictures showed new rings that could not be seen from Earth around the solar system's second-largest planet. Saturn's rings also contain expected kicks and spokes, like bicycle wheels. Using time-lapse photos, scientists saw spokes forming and then dissolving again. Saturn's moons were surprising as well. Several small moons act like shepherds for the ice and dust orbiting Saturn, keeping them in sprayed rings. Saturn's largest moon, Titan, was surrounded by a thick haze, an atmosphere. This was such a shocking discovery that Voyager 1's flight path was changed to give it a closer look. Could Titan support life? Some scientists think it could. Uranus. After a Saturn flyby, Voyager first headed out of the area where most planets orbit the Sun. It was flying toward interstellar space, the area beyond the Sun's magnetic field. However, Voyager's second position would let it continue toward Uranus. All its instruments were still working, so NASA decided to extend the mission. No one knew what to expect from Uranus. This strange-looking planet is typed on its side, possibly due to a run-in with another planet-sized object. Voyager 2 passed the planet in January 1986. Its measurements show that Uranus's sideways position twisted its magnetic field into a corkscrew tail following the planet. Until then, scientists didn't even know Uranus has a magnetic field. Neptune. When the Uranus flyby went well, NASA sent Voyager 2 to Neptune as well. It reached the planet in August of 1989. There, it discovered 5 new moons. The largest moon, Triton, and geyser-like eruptions of dust and gas. Then, like Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, began its journey toward interstellar space. The Golden Record. Gathering information is only part of Voyager's missions. They are also carrying information out of the solar system, a message to non-Earth life forms, or aliens. The message is on a 12-inch golden record on the side of each spacecraft. The record includes music or the spoken greetings from around the world. It also includes sounds from nature. The outside of the record has a map showing Earth's location in the universe. Aliens could use it to find Earth, but that probably would happen anytime soon. Voyager 1 won't come close to another star for at least 40,000 years. Neither spacecraft will come close to another planet for millions of years. The first message to aliens. The Golden Record isn't the first message humans have sent into space. Pioneer 10 and 11 are the only other human-made objects currently headed out of the solar system. Each carries a metal plaque showing drawings of a man, a woman, and Earth's position in the universe. The final task. Now that the Voyagers have finished exploring planets, they have a new job, the interstellar mission. They are the first probes to explore space beyond our solar system. In August 2012, Voyager 1 left our solar system and began its new journey. Conclusion. The Voyager mission has opened up our solar system in a way not possible before the space age. This Voyager project scientist Dr. Edward Stone. The 2 spacecraft ended up exploring all of the solar system's giant outer planets and 48 of their moons. Now the Voyagers are giving us a glimpse of interstellar space. Like 2 small bottles in the universe's immense ocean, they carry a message from Earth to whatever lies beyond.